Hello, everybody, and welcome to race number 18 of Season 3 NASCAR Walmart Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NASCAR Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Infineon Raceway, aka Sonoma, around the Napa Valley area. We return to road course racing, and this is the final race of the first half of Season 3. After this race, we get the second half going of the season, but we are getting closer and closer to that 10-race chase for the championship. And that is going to be exciting. But ladies and gentlemen, here's a look at your starting lineup for today's race.
Imagine the dreams of a 13-year-old looking up at the sky, wondering how the world can be so cold. This kid wasn't sold it would be like this. At nighttime, wishes to be safe from this abyss. Cause this shit is something that can be dismissed. A boy born as a girl who is going through the stress. He's got a shotgun up, but can't play for the team. His school won't let him even though it's his dream. Now he's sitting in bed with a loaded gun, thinking about blowing his brains out to kingdom come. Cause he's been bullied and teased all his life. Almost killed himself 2 years ago by slitting his wrist with a knife. I wonder if he sees the things I see for him. 10 years down the line, speaking at the forum. A college graduate up at the top of his class. The first trans NFL player up in the draft.
Well, there's a look at your starting lineup. Zachary Fitzwater is on the pole with Austin Weiner in the second position. I apologize, I forgot to change Trent Dunham's car, but things happen. But nonetheless, we will get this race going. This should be an exciting 12-lap event. And now, here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Zachary Fitzwater gets off to a decent run on that start. But now here comes Austin Weiner down low. Austin Weiner, he's trying to go for his second win of the season. Let's see if Weiner's going to get a run off of Fitzwater, and indeed he does. And he's going to get an advantage of coming into this next corner here. So Austin Weiner, he's on a mission to try to get his second win of the season and hope to get into a safe bet to make the chase for the championship, potentially. And he's cleared of Zachary Fitzwater. Or at least not yet. Whoa! Fitzwater tried to get back by and he overdrove it. And now he's going to lose a lot of ground on the 22. So now the 22 of Austin Weiner has officially gotten around the 47 for the lead. Will Austin Weiner repeat history? Because remember, the last time we ran out of road course, which was at Canadian Tire, Austin Weiner led every single lap and won. And so far, despite starting second, he leads lap number 1. And he's got a pretty marginable lead over the 47 of Zachary Fitzwater. But this track is slightly trickier than Canadian Tire. It's a lot of turning and a lot of S's, and a lot of stuff can happen. Let's take a look around the back to see if anybody's crashed, and nobody has yet, thankfully. Right now, let's take a look and see how the top 10 is currently running now after lap 1. It is Austin Weiner, the leader. Second is Zachary Fitzwater. Third is Kyle Matthews. Fourth is Gabe Williams. Fifth is Eric Burton. Sixth is PJ Williams. Seventh is Jecko Knight. Eighth is Trent Dunham. Ninth is Chris Washer. 10th is Chase Oliver. Let's take a look at the rest of the field. 11th is Eric Enrage. 12th is Anthony McCreary. 13th is Jordan Culp. 14th is the winner of this race last season, Jessica Shelton. 15th is Henrietta Fitzwater. 16th is Ian Dutta. 17th, Cassandra Renzi. 18th, Alex Hawkins. 19th, Justin Talampas. 20th is Dylan Young. 21st is last week's winner, Brandon Nichols. 22nd is Charles Sanford. 23rd, Ryan Anderson Jr. 24th, Michael Walton. 25th is Seth Cole. 26th is Cody Lamas. 27th, Michael Norman. 28th, Ken Thero. 29th, Sonny Hammond. 30th is Nick Pericles. 31st is Jesse King. 32nd, David Rivera. 33rd, Dylan Thero. 34th is Cody Hagan. 35th, Kendall Maynor. 36th, Matt McIntyre. 37th, Alex Pedro. 38th, Biggie Spencer. 39th, Rue McIntyre. Then Charles Jackson 40th. Jesse Setti 41st. And dead last is Larry Hagan. Meanwhile, Austin Weiner still holding off Zachary Fitzwater on that lead. Now, I don't believe that these cars will end up having to come down pit road in this race, but if they do, they're going to have to work fast and accurately in order to get the proper track position that they need. Right now, Austin Weiner, he's pulling a little bit from the 47 of Fitzwater, but Fitzwater's still within less than a second, almost a half a second behind the 22. So Fitzwater, he's not too slow. He's still keeping up with the 22. It's just the 22 is just running and hitting his marks really, really well. Oh, and I see one car is wrecked. Matt McIntyre has crashed. And I see damage on Biggie Spencer and Kendall Maynor, so it looked like an accident took place between those drivers. Was it around the S's, I would assume? Because this is the danger part of the track, one of the danger parts, where if you get into somebody, you're going to get hard, you're going to get hit pretty hard. But yeah, I see the 31 on pit road and damage on the 20 and the 36. So something happened between those three cars. And meanwhile, Austin Weiner continues to lead the way as we are a couple laps away from halfway here at Infineon. There's Kyle Matthews, who is currently running up there in the third spot. He's having a great run so far. And there is Gabe Williams right there behind him in the fourth spot. And look at Jecko Knight. He's up here now, up into the 7th position. He's trying to hopefully get around PJ Williams to get to that 6th spot. Let's actually go to the Nun cam to see if there's going to be anything happening in the S's. As we look through, and everybody's coming through pretty well. But you never know, because this is the danger part of the racetrack. The S's, it's very, very devastating sometimes. And there you see the 22, he's still keeping it up there. Let's see the lap times between him and the 47. Well, the 22 was definitely faster than the 47 that time. But Kyle Matthews is actually starting to get some lap times going. He was actually faster than both Fitzwater and Austin Weiner. So far, Austin Weiner having a very similar day as to what he had just recently at Canadian Tire. Led every lap in that race and won. This race started second, and he got around, and he's been leading every single lap in this race, too. I think Austin Weiner's really starting to come into his own as a road course racer. Hell, he did win a road course race back in Season 1 at, if I can recall, I believe it was Montreal. And then Season 2, last season, his only win came at a road course, and that was at Thornton. This season, he won at Canadian Tire, and he's currently up at the front for Sonoma, which is another road course race. So 3 of his 6 Walmart Cup Series wins have come on road courses. And if he wins this race, he'll get his 7th and tie the all-time record with Chris Washer once again. But now we are halfway through here at Sonoma. Let's check the lap times this time. Well, Austin is definitely faster than pretty much everybody, although Eric Burden had a pretty fast lap time. Well, actually, a couple cars are running pretty fast. Anthony McCurry and Jordan Culp. And Ian Dutta ran pretty fast that lap. And everybody else running in between the 1-minute 15s to 1-minute 16s. Let's actually take a look, see who's had the fastest lap. Wow, 2 cars went for a 72-second lap. Eric Enrage and Anthony McCurry. Wow. Those cars seem to be pretty fast, but at road courses, it's not about how fast you are, it's about how good you can drive your race car. Lap times between the top 2. Wow, almost a half a second Austin Weiner got on the 47. And actually the margin is about a second and a half that Austin Weiner has opened up from Zachary Fitzwater. Let's take a look and see where some of the notable drivers in the top 5 in points are currently running. Let's see where Ryan Anderson Jr. is running. He's back around mid-pack, around the 23rd spot. What about Cassandra Renzi? A little bit higher in the 17th spot. Brandon Nichols, the winner from last week's race, and I just saw him pass through. He's in 21st, right behind his teammate Dylan Young, while both of their teammate Austin Weiner's up at the front. Let's see where Chris Washer is. He's back there still in the 8th position. Let's take a look and see where Gabe Williams runs. He's up there in the 4th spot having a great run. PJ Williams just 2 cars behind him. Now let's see about where Austin Weiner's lap times are going to be this time. Zachary had about 0.04 of a second faster, but that ain't nearly enough to catch the 22. And the margin actually stayed the same as to what happened in the lap previous. But anyways, let's take a look and see where Chase Oliver is running, who's one of our winners from this season. He's in the 10th spot having a great run. What about Rue McIntyre? Not doing too good. He's back in the 35th place. After winning the race back at Coca-Cola, he's not been having that great of runs as of late. But if he can get on a much better track and get wins, he's actually going to go underneath for 34th, underneath of Dylan Thero. Let's see about David Rivera, who won a race earlier this season. He's only up to about the 30th spot. Seth Cole's 2 cars ahead. What about Jessica Sheldon, who won this race 1 season ago? She is in the 14th spot. She's been pretty much around that position pretty much all race long. Now let's see where newcomer Charles Sanford currently runs. He's in the, let's see where he's going to be scored officially. Looks like he scored in the 22nd position. Not too bad. But meanwhile, Austin Weiner still leads. What about the lap times? Weiner was actually faster than Fitzwater that time by. As we come to the stripe, it will be 2 laps to go. Austin Weiner trying to go for history yet again to get his 2nd win of the season, but also repeat what he did back at Canadian Tire just recently by leading every lap and winning the race. Started 2nd, but he got around for the lead in lap number 1 over Fitzwater, and he's been holding on to that lead ever since then. Austin Weiner is on a championship mission. He wants to get his first ever Walmart Cup Series championship, and it's 2 laps to go for Austin Weiner. Now remember, once the race is over, we'll take a look at a replay of what happened with Matt McIntyre, and actually he is the only car out of the race, as Biggie Spencer, Kendall Maynard had damage, but they're still running on the racetrack. And they're just now coming out of the paperclip turn 11. Kyle Matthews still in the third spot. He's having a great run today. The former Daytona 500 winner from Season 2, having a great run, a third here at a road course. And actually, I think there's skid marks right there in around that part of the track. I think that was where the accident took place with Matt McIntyre, Biggie Spencer, and Kendall Maynard earlier in the race. I definitely did not think of that. I thought it was somewhere around the S's, but I guess I was wrong. We'll take a look at that replay once this race is at its conclusion, which we're getting close to, as it's now white flag for Austin Weiner and domination race number 2 for him this season. Austin Weiner having a great day once again. And if he can keep it together and not make any mistakes, he will get his 7th career Walmart Cup Series victory, as the margin is over 2 seconds between him and Zachary Fitzwater. So unless he somehow makes a mistake, I don't think anybody can get to the 22. And after this race, we head to play racing again as we return to Daytona, and that is going to be very, very exciting. Coming out of the final corners, and now Austin is getting ready to head into the paperclip turn 11. And if he can hit it, he's going to be pretty much good to go, and I think he's going to nail it. And there he goes, getting ready, coming off of the final corner, getting his 2nd win of the season, the 7th of his career. Domination again. Austin Weiner wins at Infineon. Domination yet again. Back at Canadian Tire, led every lap, started on the pole and won. This race here at Sonoma, started 2nd but got around for the lead on lap 1, led every lap again, and he wins yet again. This is his 2nd win of the season, and he ties the all-time record with Jessica Shelton of 7 career, or not Jessica Shelton, Chris Washer of 7 career wins in the Walmart Cup Series. Well, now the race is over, but the video isn't over. Now we're going to take a look at the replay of the only incident we must have had. Well, let's double check and make sure. Yes, it was just one incident, with Matt McIntyre, Biggie Spencer, and Kendall Maynard. Well, here's a look at it. It was just hard racing between the 20, the 36, and the 31, and it looks like the 31, he just loses it a little bit, and he comes up into the 36 and then into the 20, and then, oh man, that was a head-on collision into that concrete wall. That was a hard impact for Matt McIntyre, and this is not the first time he's had a head-on hard hit like that. In fact, we saw back at the Todd Ring at the season finale of Season 2, Matt McIntyre took the hardest hit in Walmart Cup Series history. And this year, so far, not that great of a season. And it's just going to, it looked like it just went from bad to worse for him as he took a hard hit right there in that crash. But that does it for the replays of what happened with accidents. Let's take you to the results of Sonoma. Well, now that the race is over and we've taken a look at the replays, let's look at the results. Austin Weiner leads every lap and wins here today here at Sonoma. Great job for that 22 team. Zachary Fitzwater, solid 2nd place finish for him despite not leading a lap and starting on the pole, but still, you ought to give him credit where credit's due. He hung around in that top 5 all day, and I think they just ran out of fuel. So they barely, or I think this is just pit road speed, excuse me. But nonetheless, Zachary Fitzwater gets a solid 2nd. Kyle Matthews, great job of finishing 3rd today for himself. Gabe Williams, yet another good finish of 4th. This could move him up a little bit higher in the points. And Eric Burton, great solid fifth place finish, rounding out the top five. PJ Williams, solid sixth. Jecko Knight, great run of seventh. Chris Washer, solid eighth. Trent Dunham gets a much needed top 10, and Eric Enrage comes away with a 10th place finish. Great job for him. Rest of the top 20 was Chase Oliver, Anthony McCurry, Jordan Colt, Jessica Shelton, Henrietta Fitzwater, Ian Dutta, Cassandra Renzi, Alex Hawkins, Justin Talampas, and Dylan Young. The rest of the top 30 was Brandon Nichols, Charles Sanford, Ryan Anderson Jr., Michael Walden, Cody Lamas, Michael Norman, Sonny Hammond, Seth Cole, Ken Thero, and David Rivera. The rest of the top 40 was Nick Pericles, Jesse King, Cody Hagan, Rue McIntyre, Dylan Thero, Alex Pedro, Charles Jackson, Jesse Setti, Larry Hagan, Kendall Maynor. And then the last car to finish was Biggie Spencer, and one car out of the race, and that was Matt McIntyre. That does it for our coverage today. Next up, we return to an old favorite, Daytona. But until then, here are your results, rookie points, and regular points.
Stupid was trying to do music, thinking that they had no voice and that I was useless. But as I write this down, I can see what I mean. Nobody ever will stop me from achieving my dreams.